Hello, everyone. Welcome to William and the Magic Box. Today on our show, we are going to have Zach. Zach is from London, in England, in the UK. So let's see what Zach has to say. Enjoy the interview. So, hello, Zach. How are you?
Hello, I'm all good. How are you?
Very well. Thanks so much for taking the time this evening for the interview. Thank you.
No problem, no problem.
So, tell me, how was your day today?
Busy as always. I don't really have days off running my own business, but dealing with clients, I'm a very sort of client-facing kind of person in the business. So yeah, it's always a bit non-stop. As soon as I wake up, the phone's going, we're on the phone getting things done, you know what I mean? So meetings, new stock. I have sorted a restock today coming over from America.
Oh,
So yeah, plenty of stuff going on today.
amazing. Okay, so let's start the interview talking about your business. Yeah, of
Yeah,
course.
yeah.
So, checking your profiles, checking your videos on TikTok, and I could see a little bit more about it. But so tell me about it. What is your business behind?
So I am in the fashion industry, namely distribution of fashion. So we work with big brands like Nike, Adidas, Puma. Our biggest seller at the minute is Mitchell and Ness. So what we like to do is we saw a problem in American sportswear, and that problem was that you can only obviously really buy it in America. And your issue is you've got to spend 30 or 40 pounds just to get that item sent over, and then you've obviously got import fees and stuff like that. So we turn up, we think, where can we solve a problem there? People will get it over, they'll wait 3 weeks for it to turn up from America, and it'll be the complete wrong size. So we kind of front a lot of that cost now. So we bring bulk loads over, purchased in America from the brands direct. We get it over here. Obviously, we have it in hand, we can measure it, and then make sure it's going to fit our clients. So
That's
all of
amazing.
that sort of stemmed from a vintage business. I was in secondhand clothing for a while, but in lockdown we started bringing designer over from Italy, and there was a very big market for that. But as else with lockdown, everyone decided to try and find ingenious ways they could make money, and selling clothes was one of those things that everyone jumped into. So yeah, we made the transition into what we do now. Everything's brand new with tags, so factory sealed, basically. Yeah.
I love it. My God, that's amazing. I love the idea as well. And the concept behind, because as you said, when you buy something far away, imagine it comes to, what I mean, a different size, and there's
Exactly.
a problem. It's always a headache to get things. And sometimes you just give up or just go like, you know what? You lose that excitement to buy
Yeah,
something.
exactly, exactly.
Amazing. Okay, and where are you from, Zach?
So I'm from London, grew up in the city, but have been slowly moving out towards the countryside for a bit of a quieter life. Obviously, what I do needs quite a lot of space.
Right.
So yeah, obviously rents in central London as something of this size are a little bit astronomical. So now we're on a farm, we've got a countryside all around us and a castle, and it's a
Wow.
much different pace of life to what I'm used to for sure.
Wow. And you were born and raised in London.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
Well,
What's
so
it
you
like?
couldn't tell from the accent, right? Couldn't tell from the accent.
And what was the best joy of growing up in London, in your opinion?
Um, I mean, there is obviously a lot of history in London.
Yeah,
Like there's plenty of stuff to keep you busy.
yeah,
Um, and after a while, when you're younger, it's great. You go into the aquarium, you go into the London Eye, all of these different things. But as you get older, it all just gets a bit samey. Like I worked up there for a while. I was in corporate sales and I did stockbroking for a while. And obviously all of that was in the beating heart of London. So it was just the rat race. So yeah, decided that enough was enough of that. I'm gonna take my own thing, take the risk, and yeah, it's paid off.
amazing. Okay, so during the interview, I'm going to explore a little bit more about your life and also about your journey so far, okay?
Yeah, yeah, no worries.
But before we start our journey within the magic box, I would like you to tell me something interesting about yourself or maybe something that not many people know about you.
Ooh. Mm-mm-mm. I don't know actually. This is a very interesting one, something that people don't know about me. I guess that deep down I'm a very, very big softie. From the outside, we have this whole London bravado, but there's a video on my TikTok even of me slow dancing with my dog. I don't know if you saw that one, but
No,
yeah, on the outside, it's a very sort of hard, rough exterior, as we've got to in business. But Yeah, behind closed doors, I just love to snuggle up on the sofa and have a cuddle with my dog.
So sweet. It's quite common, isn't it? When those people, when they are so busy with something, they love their own space, whether they're
Exactly.
quiet. And I understand your point for sure. Zach, are you ready to go on a beautiful journey through your memories in life and share your point of views?
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Amazing. Welcome to William and the Magic Box. So I have here my best friend. Full of random fun questions, okay? I'm just gonna play a song just for us to relax before the first question, okay?
Okay.
Let's do it. Right, so before we start the game, during the journey, if it comes up a question that you don't want to talk about, you don't want to answer, always can change, okay?
Yeah, yeah.
First question is, what's the best advice have you ever given?
The best advice I've ever given. It's very cliche, very, very cliche, but hard work beats anything. Hard work beats anything. There's a lot of people that don't think throughout my life that they've not had the capabilities to do whatever they want to do.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, obviously, I went through, primary school, secondary school, university. I wasn't a top grade student, but if I wanted to do something, I'd set my mind to it and I would achieve it. If you've got that hunger inside, then
Oh.
anyone is capable of achieving anything.
And you always had this mindset?
Yeah, when I was a lot younger, no, if I'm completely honest.
Mm-hmm.
Back in 2018, so shortly before I was going to start doing my A levels, which would ultimately dictate if I'd end up going to university, me and my friendship group received the devastating news that one of our closest friends took his own life.
Oh my God.
He was 17 years old and he had a very bright future ahead of him. Very bright future ahead of him. He just had obviously his internal demons there. So
Wow.
ever since then, it did really put a lot into perspective for me. Obviously, I was a pallbearer at his funeral. I carried his coffin in, and
Wow.
it was a whole level of responsibility. But equally, it does make you sit there and think, what if I'm not around tomorrow?
Wow.
And that I was always quite just blasé about everything when I was younger. Oh, it'll be fine, whatever, whatever, whatever. But everything could change in an instant. I could spend years building up a business as I have, building up financial freedom or whatever. But if I've not had those experiences in life, that's what life's about. Life is there to be lived, not to just be kind of there in the background. You know what I mean? So for
Totally.
me, I can sit here and work all hours of the day, but that is purely for me and the people I care about to get out into the world and have those experiences that life really is about.
Wow. Thanks for sharing that, Zach. I think those moments in life that, unexpected and
Mm,
really drastically sad, I think make us just to wake up somehow and give us a
yeah,
different perspective of life. And it's I even got goosebumps now saying that because it's life, it's about that, it's about, as you said, hard work,
mm,
waking up and do it. It doesn't matter what you believe, what you want to do, just put the best of your there. Nothing
exactly.
comes easy, you know what I mean? If something's coming
Mm,
too easy, just wonder there's not something not right with that.
yeah,
So yeah, hard work, it pays off in the end for
for
sure.
sure, for sure.
Next question. Hey Zach, next question is, what will be your ideal day?
My ideal day. Oh, okay. So I'm a big nature head. I love everything to do with the outdoors and the sea. So honestly, I'd be in the middle of nowhere, in the absolute middle of nowhere. However I wake up is irrelevant. If it's in a tent or a £4.5 million house, they're both the same. But if I could just wake up, the first thing I see is just nature, listen to the birds, you know what I mean, feel the wind, and just go about daily business. You know what I mean? A lot of what I do in my life revolves around technology and the internet. So those moments I can just get out into the fields when I'm walking my dog and really just switching off, that is probably the most enjoyable part of my day. So I guess a full day of being out and about in the great outdoors, I guess.
And so far, when you analyze yourself, when you think about you, what's the biggest joy of being Zach? What do you like the most about being you?
I would say my ability to connect with people, to be completely honest. I mean, I've been involved in sales from when I was fairly young.
Okay.
But you know, that allowed me to build up interpersonal skills very, very quickly. So,
Mm-hmm.
sort of no matter what walk of life someone is from, I'm able to connect with them or relate to them with something. You know what I mean? And it's just quite nice because I can walk into a room, someone I've never met before, I'll say hello to them, and within 5, 10 minutes, I've got them laughing and smiling. And I get a lot out of that as an individual. Making people happy is what I like to do.
Wow. And I think London gives us that. You know what I mean? London, there is something about London that makes you somehow interact more with people, be more open
Yeah,
about.
exactly, exactly.
Next question. All right. Before the next question, tell me what's the biggest joy of being a sales businessman? Yeah, I could see your eyes shine, talk about your business, about your journey. What brings the best of you when you are, doing your business? And the flip side, what do you find most challenging?
The best part about it is that I do have freedom within reason to do what I want. So if I have someone who is maybe tied into a job and you know they maybe have a day off midweek for whatever reason, a lot of people wouldn't just be able to drop their life and go and see this individual. I have that freedom. So if someone asks me to do something, I don't like saying no. You know, if it's an opportunity, I'll always try and say yes to an opportunity. And you know, that's probably the best bit about doing what I do. For
Mm-hmm.
me, success isn't measured by how much money I'm making, but it's the freedom that I have as a result of it and how much I'm actually, as we go back to saying at the start, how much I'm actually able to live my life. It obviously does come with a whole lot of stresses, though. You know, it is a very big operation that we've got going on here. Personally, aside from the stock that we have in this room, I am also a personal shopper. So I work with a lot of the high-end brands, Dior, Gucci, Louis Vuitton. So I'm sourcing and finding those high-end pieces for my clients that are wanting nothing but the top level service. So,
Right.
you know, there are always time constraints. There's always, you know, the financial constraints of running the business. I'd love to get new stock in, but maybe, you know, the rent needs paying that month and it might have been a quiet month. So it's always just that constant turning over, making sure that I am where I want to be.
Mm-hmm.
For me, with the way that my head is wired, I always look far in the future. You know, I try and see, all right, where can I be or where can I get this to? What's the end goal for this? But sometimes it's quite easy to get lost in that and you never feel like you're progressing. But I was on
Right.
the phone to a very good friend of mine once, and he said I was sitting there kind of in my head saying how I felt I was stagnating a little bit. And the numbers couldn't have been, you know, more different from what I was trying to say. We was doing very, very well. But my friend said to me, he went, Zach, he said, where you are now is where you said you wanted to be 5 years ago. And then
Wow.
the penny just dropped then. And I said, he's right. My dream 5 years ago was to be self-sufficient, running my own business where I didn't need to be in the rat race of a 9 to 5, didn't need to
Mm-hmm.
be commuting every day, Monday to Friday, an hour and a half on the train. And that put a lot of things into perspective for me. So now it's like, yes, I have always got bigger aspirations and bigger goals to achieve, but it's very easy to lose sight of the journey you've already been on.
Totally. And for you, you have this business mindset that for you to go on the go, you love being proactive. Do you somehow you kind of pair that some days or some moment you can totally disconnect it, or no, it's always there?
It's always there for me. It's always there. I don't like having things just kind of stacking up. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
I have spent so long on this business, so much time, so much effort marketing a particular type of, you know, service that you get through my business. For
Right.
me to then kind of just switch off from that, as nice as it is, there's a little kind of subconscious voice that's like, you've got this to do, you've got this person to reply to. And that
Totally.
drives me absolutely insane.
Yeah. In a
It
good way.
drives me insane. So yeah, I only really get a few days off a year, to be completely honest. It's there's always something going on, or you know, some sort of content being filmed or whatever. So yeah,
I totally understand your point. Completely understand. It's so interesting when you do something that you love that is always there. But
exactly.
I must be honest to you. I the only time, I mean, not the only time that I can complete disconnect from the Magic Box. Of course, I had my full-time job. However, the Magic Box is something that it gets the best of me. I go to bed thinking about it. I wake up every morning. I'm traveling. I'm like you, exactly what you're saying. I relate to myself. When I'm watching a movie in the cinema, that's the only time that I gave myself a moment to disconnect, not just the Magic Box, but the words. Yeah, I love going to the movies. You know, I go once, twice to the weekend when I can. However, it's the only time I realize the only time that I completely connect with the movie. I completely connect with that. As soon as the movie finish, I already take my phone and that's it. Everything started again.
It transports you to another world almost, doesn't it?
100%, 100%. For you, there's something that somehow makes you disconnect with your normal daily job. There's something, for example, in the movie, there is something for you or not?
Yeah, I mean, I've done a whole lot of stuff over the years. I've picked up all sorts of like fairly severe injuries and stuff through contact sports. And other than walking the dog, which we've already touched on, my biggest place of peace is underwater. So from the age of 10, I learned to scuba dive, and I've racked up cumulatively probably like over a week underwater.
Oh,
So
wow.
I've been to some of the most amazing dive locations in the world. I've been to the Red Sea in Egypt. I've dived with the Grey Seals up in Scotland. I've dived on some of the most famous wrecks like in the ocean as well. And I've seen some very incredible things, but the fact that there is no sound other than just you breathing away, you can hear the waves kind of, you can maybe hear some rocks rolling along the floor, and it's just peaceful. You can only communicate with hand signals and stuff like that. And that is the one time where I'm completely weightless, I'm completely de-stressed, and I can just sit there and just watch the pretty fish, basically.
Interesting. Okay, next question is, who are you most thankful for and why?
I wouldn't say I'm most thankful for particularly one person, but I am most thankful for my entire support network. I know with the way that I am and my personality, I can be a very difficult person at times because I go so heavy into my work. It's quite hard to bring me out of that. But I do have kind of my close circle that if I am getting a bit too crazy on work, they'll kind of bring me out of it, or they'll put things into perspective. But equally, these are also the people that will tell me that I can. Most of the time growing up, you know, when I was in school, they said I'd never make it to university. My own teachers. I proved them wrong. I went to university and I got a very good grade. I did a piece of original research that is going to help on conservation of the red kite in the UK, which is like a type of bird of prey. There's always people in my life that have told me I can't do it.
Wow.
But to have that small group, no matter if it's 3 or 4 people, just that number of people saying, you are doing well, I am proud of you, that is what I need. I've got my strong little safety net there.
Amazing. And there is someone in your family or in your friends, someone that right now in your life you feel more connected with, you have a very good connection. There is someone?
Yeah, that would be my girlfriend. We have been together for getting on for 6 years, so she's definitely waiting for something on her finger fairly soon. But yeah, I mean, she is my absolute rock. She really is. If it wasn't for her, I wouldn't have got anywhere near as far as what I have. So she is probably the most vital piece of me that I've got, really.
Wow, I've got goosebumps now saying that. Beautiful. Okay, so your girlfriend is watching this interview right now, and you have a moment, an opportunity to send her a message. What would you say?
Okay. Right. Soph, I don't say it enough, but I am very proud of everything you're doing. I know that it's not the easiest trying to be with me at times and balance your own life as well, but you do it. I don't know how. You're incredible, and there will be something that ends up on your finger very soon, I'm sure.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
We're dropping the bombshells tonight. We're dropping the bombshells.
Oh my God, it was like a pre-proposing.
Exactly. We got to get the cogs whirring one way or another.
The pressure's on you right now, Zach.
Exactly. The wheels are already in motion.
3 questions left. Let's do it. Hey, Zach from London. That's going to be very easy for you. What motivates you the most in life?
Freedom. Freedom to go and do what I want when I want and be with who I want. That is what motivates me the most. The other thing really that does motivate me as well is I want to use any money I do make to leave a lasting impact on the world. There is something that I will say nearer the end because you have told me about like some quotes to think up. So I'll leave that hidden until then. But yeah, just what kind of impact you can leave on the world, you know, outside of my business, what can I do? I'm very, as I said earlier, passionate about nature. So I want to be able to just get out to the rainforest and go and, you know, work with some sort of research team on, you know, helping the environment one way or another.
What would be the title of your memoir, Zach?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, it wouldn't even be a memoir. It'd be a whole movie, my life. We might need a trilogy. We might need a trilogy of a movie set.
What would be the name of the trilogy? This, you know, the whole package together.
To the stratosphere. To the stratosphere. Because there is no limit to what anyone can achieve. I'm a very firm believer. If you set your mind to it, you can get where you need to get to. And the edge of space is where you can get to.
Amazing. I love it. 2 questions left. Let's do it. You like dancing, Zach?
It's great. It's great. You're a natural. You're a natural.
I'm Brazilian. You know, when you were born in Brazil, you have 2 ways: or you become a football player, or you become a dancer. I didn't become any of them, so I tried. I tried a little bit. Before the next question, tell me something. You know, nowadays with the power of social media, yeah, of course, you know, I think, you know, social media came to change the world somehow, for the good, for the bad as well. My question for you is relate to your business. You know, people before, let's say, COVID, just correct if I'm wrong, okay? I have the impression that before COVID, we had a different way of purchasing, like buying things, yeah? Online was already there. However, I think during the COVID, I think things just explode. Yeah. My question for you is, do you think this culture of buying things online, it's something that, it's something new that's going to be for a long while, or do you think people nowadays, they still prefer to go there and try it on and see how they feel? How do you see about it?
To be honest, and it's sad for those that are in the position, but I think the classic brick and mortar shops are finished now. The pure convenience of just being able to have whatever you want at your fingertips, you can press a button and it's at your door in a couple of days. Rather than, I know it sounds a very weird thing, you'd rather wait an extra 2-3 days to get it without having to leave your sofa. But especially in the way that we sell, I do a lot of live stream selling. So, you know, it's very intimate almost. You know, I'm in someone's living room, or I'm, you know, at their place of work with them, or it's a very different type of shopping experience now. People do like the convenience of it, but equally, you know, with social media, it is so easy to hit such a big market of individuals. If I got a shop down the local high street, I might get 3 people in a day. If I'm on the website, I'm getting 3,000, 30,000 people in a day.
Wow.
So it's a very different ball game entirely now. And I don't think it will ever go back to, you know, just actually going out to the shops really anymore.
Interesting, you said that. It just made me remember, realize something. Of course, I think when the way I got connected with you, I think you're in your live and I send you a message.
Yeah.
And I realized that a few people, they do the same as well. I've seen people selling, exposing things. This is a new way of people getting their, let's say, business or their, you know, things out there. For sure. Is the future, do you think?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Yeah, I mean, the sheer reach that you get with it cannot be beaten by anything else. You know, even whether I'm doing my live stream selling on a platform called Tilt, or I'm doing just my sort of normal chats like we were on TikTok, where you came across my page. You know, I'm talking to people in South Africa, I'm talking to people in Indonesia, in America, in, you know, all over the world. Yeah. And that wouldn't be possible in any other way without social media. It
I
does,
see.
however, bring the limitation where because people are so easily connected to you that there is almost no off switch. If
I
you
see.
don't reply to someone within an hour or 2 hours, they go, "Well, why haven't they replied?"
Wow.
It's almost that kind of way now. So it's it
Oh,
almost leads people into a false sense of almost security within a person. It's like they all see me, but I will never see them. There might be a select few individuals that I might meet outside of my live
yeah,
streams, but for
yeah.
the majority of my live stream customers, I've never even got a face to go off of. I could walk
Wow.
past them in the street and I wouldn't know who they are, but they'd know
Wow.
who I am. And that's a
Interesting.
very weird dynamic to have to get used to.
Amazing. Okay. Next question is, what's the most meaningful gift have you ever received?
Oh, most meaningful gift I've ever received. I've had a lot of very meaningful gifts over the years. Um, I'm not really that much of a materialistic person, if I'm honest.
Mhm.
There's plenty of things that I can just steal and wear for myself, as you can see. I don't need to go shopping anymore. But I mean, I guess we take it all the way back, and I'm actually wearing it tonight. It's a very sentimental watch, purely on the fact that I got this when I passed my GCSEs.
Wow.
Now, the GCSEs, obviously, the grades weren't amazing, as we touched on earlier. But when you're in the business world or you're in, the luxury goods world, it
Yeah.
helps to already be involved in it yourself.
Right.
So this watch that I've got on right now is literally the thing that got me a job in luxury jewelry at age 17. Because they saw that watch, we got onto a conversation about watches. They could see my passion for it, and I landed a job selling watches at £65,000.
Wow.
So since then, since this watch, it's a very weird thing. It's a very, very weird thing. But the opportunity that this watch has provided me over the years has been incredible. So
Oh,
yeah, it's a very sentimental piece. And weirdly, if I didn't have it, I do think at times, would my life have been any different? And I genuinely do think it would have been.
wow. So interesting. I never thought about that. It's so interesting how those things can trigger something else. You know what I mean? How people see it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think nowadays you are the business cards. Everything is not just the business card. It's about everything. It's
Exactly. It's
amazing.
how you
Oh,
present, it's how you talk. There's so many different factors now into whether someone will take you seriously or not.
amazing.
I mean, I'm fairly young. I've only recently just turned 25. So in business full stop, let alone the business I'm in, it's very hard for people to want to take me seriously because they think, oh, he's just a young kid, this, that, or the other. And it's like, I might be young, but I've got the head of a 60-year-old on my shoulders. You know what I mean? Like, treat me the same way as you treat my neighbor that has
Mhm.
an extra 10, 15, years on top of me. That's irrelevant. We're all, trying to do our thing. So, yeah, it's all about that, really.
Amazing. Two questions left. Let's do
Lovely.
it. Okay, Zach. Next question is, what's the soundtrack of your life and why?
Soundtrack of my life. I've never thought about this one. This is a very interesting question. The soundtrack of my life. I mean, I do like music arranged by Hans Zimmer. It's a
Okay.
very emotive type of music. It's film music. And I've been fortunate enough to see him perform live once in London. And the song that really resonated with me was Interstellar. We all
Right.
remember the film. It was a major
Yeah.
box office film.
Yeah.
When you hear that music, it brings something just very primitive from inside of you. It does almost, open your mind up. You're normally so closed in your little bubble, but when you
Totally.
hear music like Interstellar, your whole world gets a whole lot bigger, and you realize that life is a whole lot bigger than the little bubble that you're in.
Wow. Saying that, what's the meaning of life for you?
Meaning of life, legacy. Legacy is the meaning of life for me. What I can leave behind and the image that people would have of me. I'm not the type of person who cares what people think about me. Otherwise, I wouldn't be on the internet because there's always going to be someone that wants to say something nasty.
Of course. Of
But
course.
You know, the way that I see the meaning of life is how many people's lives can I impact? How many, you know, people's memories can I live in? You know, how much of a positiveness can I be like in a source of people's, you know, existence? Will they see me in a positive way or a negative way? And that's what I think the meaning of life is, just making positive impacts on as many people as you can.
What's your star sign astrology, Zach?
Aquarius.
Which month is Aquarius?
February.
February. Oh, so your birthday is this month?
It was literally the Friday that's just gone.
Oh my God! So happy birthday! How was it?
Thank you very much. 25 years old. 25 years old. I still look about 16, but it is what it is.
Yeah, I would say as well. Don't say you are 25. And do you like celebrating birthdays?
Birthdays for me are just another day, to be completely honest.
Yeah.
As I said, my girlfriend, she loves birthdays and making big things out of it. For me, it's just a normal day for me. For other people's birthdays, obviously, I like to make them special. People that care about, you know, birthdays and making it into an event. So we was out in Naxos, which is a lovely Greek island, last summer, and we was over there for Sophie's birthday. So she woke up in 30-degree sunshine in
Oh
a
my
beautiful
God.
little place on a Greek island. So yeah, that's birthdays. I like celebrating others more than I like celebrating mine.
Somehow celebrate as well with them. It's part of it. All connected.
Exactly, exactly.
Last question. Ready?
Yeah, let's go.
Wait, last question. Oh yes, I got your moves name. So before the last question, I'm gonna ask a question in two parts. The first
Yep.
part of the question is, you know, I made a note here about your business, Cordery collection.
That's the one.
Yeah. What's something that stands out compared with others, you know, collections or other business in the same as yours? You know, what's something about it? And the second part of the question is, tell me a moment since you start your business. Tell me a moment or a situation that you're never gonna forget. For some reason, you're always gonna have close to your heart.
So I'll address the second bit first because I think
Okay.
that will make more sense in the long run. The moment where I got my first ever unit space was where I was like, I was just stopped for a second and was stunned almost into silence. It was a tiny little unit, much smaller than what I'm in now. But I stood in there and there was nothing in there at the time, just me and empty walls, and it was very echoey and very cold. But I just sat there and had that realization on all the hard work I'd put in, the risks I'd taken. It had all paid off. For that 5 seconds, 10 seconds, time stood still. And I was like, I'm my own boss. You know what I mean? I don't have to be taking orders from anyone anymore. And after, you know, a couple of years in corporate London, that is one of the nicest feelings, one of the nicest feelings. But I mean, I think when it comes to, you know, what people are thinking of when they think about my brand is where I'm so passionate about it, I go out of my way to become an expert in every single thing I sell. Every single thing, how it's going to fit, the materials, you know, the sports teams, or if it's a particular player or an event, maybe like a Super Bowl. I learn everything about it because people know when they come to me, I know what I'm talking about. And when you're in business and when you're in sales specifically, people will buy from you on emotion. If you can sell them a story, you can sell them a dream, then you can sell them on anything. But equally, because they know that you know your product inside and out, they're also more inclined to like bring their business to you than someone who is maybe selling more on a value side of things. I'll have this because it's cheap. I don't know what it is, but it's a fiver. You know what I mean? For me, I might be like, right, well, I'm selling a sweatshirt at £100, but look at the history behind this sweatshirt. And then suddenly that invokes more of an emotional connection to what that person's buying.
And I'm sure this history will be the right one to explain everything from the beginning to the end and to the person.
Exactly.
Get it.
Exactly.
Last question is, I think that's what I'm going to skip. What's something that not many people know about you? We already talked about that.
Yeah,
So I'm gonna...
yeah.
Okay, last question is, if you could go anywhere in the world right now, right this moment, where would you go and why?
I would go to Antarctica. If I
Hmm?
could go to Antarctica, that would be a dream come true. Obviously, let's not beat around the bush. It's probably not going to be there much longer.
Mm-hmm.
It is a part of the world that is disappearing. I'm not going to go all Greta Thunberg on it at the minute because this isn't the platform to talk about that. But just to be able to see it with my own eyes and see something like a polar bear. Because again, I know by the time I reach 50 years old, there's probably not going to be any polar bears around.
Yeah.
I've seen polar bears in captivity. Do I agree with that? Maybe not. But equally, just to go to Antarctica and see it in the flesh, and just kind of sit there and see maybe one of the last undeveloped places of the entire world.
Wow. I like that actually, Jake. I really like that, Zach. I think it's amazing for you to have this connection with culture. You know what I mean? With
Mm,
all of those, you know, as you said, those places maybe not going to exist anymore in one point, which sadly, sadly not going
yeah.
to be there anymore. And, it's just amazing and sad as well at the same time.
Mm,
Right. It's not the end yet. Let's play now the word association game. Okay. I'm going to give away some words. Just tell one word that comes to your mind. Quick thinking.
okay.
Let's start with money,
Fun.
fear,
Fail.
family,
Love.
life,
Challenges.
sex,
Necessary.
love,
Even more necessary.
religion,
Conflict.
friendship,
Two-sided.
politics,
Waste of time.
desire,
Greediness.
regret,
Waste of time.
success,
Freedom.
wish,
Hope.
happiness.
Experience.
One word for London.
Busy.
One word
Busy.
for one word for England.
Grey.
One word for fashion.
Important.
And the last one now. Cordery collection. One word.
Goat. Greatest of all time.
Wow. Right, let's pretend now I'm going to meet your girlfriend for a coffee, and I'm going to
Okay.
ask her, define Zach in one positive and one negative word only. What should say?
One negative and one positive. So the positive would be hardworking.
Mm-hmm.
The negative would be so it's a double-edged sword, that one, because the hard working is the most positive and negative thing about me. And she said this to me. She said that she loves the fact I work hard to give us everything that we want, but equally that is also my biggest downfall. How
Wow.
much I do throw myself into anything I do. Because at times that does have to come, at expense of time with her, for example.
Wow. And so far, for those 6 years you said you've been together, what's the most meaningful lesson you've learned from her?
To just take a step back for a moment. To just take a step back for a moment and look at things from a different perspective. It's very easy for me to get into my head, and once I've made a decision, it's very hard to get out of that decision. She is the only person that can talk me out of a headspace. So
Wow.
if I'm in a bad headspace and I get into this business spiral where everything's getting a bit too much, she is the only person that walks the face of this earth that can get me out of it.
Wow. Wow, that's powerful. Love it. Let's play now, Zach, in the magic box, and you can ask me a question. But okay, before you ask me the question, tell me the very first item that you sold since you started your business, the very first one, the latest one, yeah. And the third part of the question is the most difficult one that for you was kind of challenge for you, but you did it in the end. If you can share, of course.
Okay. So the first one was, I mean, my first order was a 250-pound sack of old t-shirts that I probably sold for £5 or £10.
Uh-huh.
But, you know, I bought them for next to nothing. They weren't the best, but that was the first thing I sold.
Uh-huh.
The last thing I sold, and this is within the last 24 hours, is a £26,500 yellow gold Cartier watch to
Oh
one of my
my
clients.
God. Wow.
They are interested in some other designer bags like Hermes, but we'll get to that when we get there. The most difficult sale of my life. I had a jacket. Actually, this is going to be the most difficult sale in this business anyway.
Right.
And I've had harder sales in corporate sales, but obviously that's a whole different ball game entirely. I was the only person to ever bring one of these jackets into the UK, and it was really nothing special. It was plain black. It was an Adidas coat with a collaboration from a brand called White Mountaineering. This jacket retailed at £850.
Right.
This was a good few years back, and I'd brought one into the country, and there was only one other place that had it for sale on the internet, and they had it for £3,500. However, you don't realize how hard it is to sell something when there isn't too much to say about it. As I said, it was plain black. There was no real design on it. There was, you know, a little Adidas logo, and it was Gore-Tex. They were the only two things I had to go off of to sell this jacket. But equally, where it is an £850 retail and a £3,500 market value, we're not talking, you know, if I was at £20, £30, I could sell it easily. If we're talking £600 plus, that's a much harder sale. That was probably the most difficult thing I've sold, because you really did have to tap into the, you know, the emotional side of it, going back to the emotional purchase. Just saying to the customer, you are the only person ever in the UK to own this jacket, and you will be the only ever person in the UK to own this jacket.
Wow.
It was a hard sale, but we got there in the end.
I'm wearing it. It's black. I'm wearing it. You see?
Yeah, exactly. It could have been that one. You might have been my secret buyer.
Just something else come to my mind now. Do you think, you know, selling something is a talent for you to be able to do that?
It definitely, you're either born with it or you're not, I think.
Right.
I know it goes back to what I was saying earlier. If you work hard enough, you can do it. You know what I mean? You can learn how the sales process works, but a lot of sales is psychology. You've got to be very good with people to be good at sales. Some people are born with that skill, where you are just naturally a very approachable kind of individual.
Yeah.
Some people, if they're a bit more sort of standoffish, closed responses, they're not going to do as well in sales. Doesn't mean you can't get to the point where you do well in sales, but you are either born with an advantage or a disadvantage, depending on, you know, how easy you are to talk to.
Amazing. Okay, you can ask me a question now, Zach.
Okay, so it goes back to what I said earlier. So obviously success, you're sitting here with a successful little mini series on the internet. Outside of this, what is your legacy that you want to leave behind for the world?
Wow, big question. My God, I could answer this so many, you know, different ways. The legacy. You know what? I think the legacy, when you say about sales, the talent, I think all of us, there is something about us that, you know, it's a mark of you. You know, I believe that all of us, we can do different careers and still be happy, still give your best and, you know, be happy about that and be successful as well.
Exactly.
I think my legacy, I think it's, it's going to be related to the show. I think I would like people one day to think about the Magic Box, think about, you know, the connection I have with the show, the people who are here. I would like people to remember me or the show or anything that I leave in, you know, behind, connect with it is about, you know, you can literally be your truly self without, you can literally be yourself in a world where you're gonna be judged. People are gonna point at you. It's not gonna be easy. People, whatever who you are, you could be the perfect person. There's always someone who gonna judge you the way you are. So my legacy, I would love to live and mark the words. That you can be yourself. Literally, not easy, but you can truly be yourself. Not, and things gonna come. The right people gonna come. The wrong people go. And my legacy, I just would like people to, when they watch the show, when they think about it, they go, you know what? That's a place where I can connect with people and I can be myself without any judgment. So I would love to leave with this mark on the world for sure.
Amazing. Good answer.
Did you enjoy the interview?
Yeah, great fun.
Thanks again, Zach. My God, I'm gonna tell you something. I was expecting to have this, energy from you because, what I love about the show is when I contact people the same way I contact you. I hope when I put here the camera on, I just think, my God, what's gonna happen now? And have this energy from you, your passion about sales, about your clothing. I think that's amazing. I think people watch this interview right now, they can relate to that. You can be passionate about anything.
Yeah.
And again, hard work is the discipline is the main key for everything in life. And I think through this interview, I could see that you left that here during the interview. Work hard, whatever you believe, whatever you want to do in your life, just work hard and be disciplined, that you can get anywhere. Not easy, but whatever is easy, go easy as well. So just put the best of yourself. So thanks again for taking the time. Thanks for bringing a little bit more of knowledge. You literally, talking to you, I've learned a lot about, about buying or selling or purchase something. It's amazing to talk to someone. So thanks again for taking your time. And before you go, if you can share a positive message or anything that you live by.
Positive message. Every single day, make one person smile, and by the end of the week, you'll be the happiest person in the world.
Wow, amazing. Good luck on your sales, and I hope one day to come and visit your store or buy online and somehow do a collaboration as well with you, okay?
Absolutely. We'll get you sorted out.
Say hello to your girlfriend and keep in touch, okay? It was a pleasure.
Do. Love you, Will. Thank you very much.
Bye.
See you soon, okay?
Bye. So, did you like the show? Don't forget to give a like, to share it, and also don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And if you'd like to be part of the show as well, first, subscribe to our channel, and after that, just go to our website, www.williamandthemagicbox.com, and send us a request saying why do you like to be part of the show, and I see you there. Bye bye, see you next time.